Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my presentation for the Networking and Industry Relations course. And before I begin, I just want to say thank you, Jeff, for imparting the knowledge that you have. It's greatly appreciated. And so the first question is, what are 3 things that I've learned in this course and how can I apply it as I begin to look for a job? Number 1 is I've learned that I am a brand. I've always associated branding with major companies. It always stood out to me how a company could be known for a particular thing or things, like the Ferrari vehicle. Once one hears the word Ferrari, we automatically associate it with fast or luxurious. With all of that said, upon entering this course, I've learned that people can be brands too. I am a brand. I've learned how important it is to brand oneself, which is simply just asking, what makes me peculiar? What makes me stand out? What do I deliver consistently? And how do others see me? This leads me to my next point. It is okay to promote myself. Admittedly, before entering this course, I never knew that it was okay for me to sell myself. In fact, when others did it, I saw them as big-headed and arrogant. But you see, it all ties in with branding. After discovering who you are and how others see you, you can effectively promote yourself. Which leads to my third point. I've learned how to effectively construct a resume. You see, before I always thought that a resume was just a list of the universities that I attended, a list of schools, and some awards that I've received. But in actuality, a resume is a brand, is your brand. It is you selling yourself and telling your potential employer what you have to offer, what makes you stand out, what sets you apart. And so I will apply this by simply remembering the importance of selling myself. I will never lose sight of the fact that there will be so many others applying for the same position and that I must be able to stand out. I will remember that my resume tells my story, but my interview confirms it. This means that I should never sell a false version of LaDonya, because in an interview, I will need to justify everything stated. Lastly, I will exude self-confidence, which will make it easier to gain the confidence and respect of my employers and colleagues. So question number 2, have I met at least 2 industry contacts? Yes, I've met several industry contacts, but fortunately, I've gained and fostered a relationship with 2. They attend my church. One's name is Mistress Kevin Norway and the other Mistress Daphne Burton. I've had the opportunity to sit and chat with them about some failures and successes just along the lines of the event industry. I've even volunteered because after church, we have something in the foyer where businesses promote to the other church attendees. And so I've had the opportunity to work alongside of her just to see how things run on a day-to-day basis. And in this case, it'll be easy to stay in contact because we go to the same church. However, we've exchanged numbers and social media platforms. What is my 1-year objective post-school? Well, after completing this certification, for me, it'll be all work and no play. I've mentioned to you before that my purpose for coming here is for my son to get a transplant. And so after that, it'll just be that. And I also want to continue to advance and extend the services of my business. One of my main focuses is to market and promote it throughout Ontario. And so what didn't I learn in this program that I want to? I would say I never really quite grasped the concept of creating the brochure and the business card. The problem was not what to say, but just the appropriate format. However, I've been playing around with Canva and trying to figure out the right format and style for my brochure and business card, so hopefully I'll get it. And in conclusion, I enjoyed this program and everything that I've learned throughout. I enjoyed the in-class discussions and thought-provoking questions, which actually allowed me to think and ponder. One of the most memorable and emotional moments for me was when we had to pair up with a colleague. And I had paired up with Evan. It was such a great time of discussion. What stood out to me was that he identified strengths within me that I never saw within myself. I called that day memorable because I will never forget it. It was the day I started to use those words to encourage myself. Those words were creative, resilient, and strong. In my final conclusion, I want to thank you, Professor Jeff, for your time and the knowledge you've imparted. It was much appreciated, and it will be a great use to me as I continue to journey in the events industry. Thank you.